Now to guns in America and the lessons still unlearned. Saturday, it marked 1 year since the massacre at the Sandy Hook Elementary School, where, of course, as you know, 20 children and 6 adults were killed in a matter of moments. Since then, no changes in federal laws, and on the state level, gun rules have gotten looser in more places than they've been made tighter. Meanwhile, the body count grows. More than 31,000 people in this country estimated dead since Newtown. The victims of gun violence, nearly 3,000 of them children. They do not all die in mass shootings like Newtown, of course. Most die in individual incidents, but they are all someone's son or daughter, all someone's father, mother, spouse, sibling, or loved one, and they're all dead, victims of gun violence. For years, even before the tragedy of Newtown and so many other mass shootings, we at RFL, we've been talking about gun violence and talking to the victims of gun violence. We believe that the only way we can really truly debate the merits of gun control, gun safety, is to try and find out here that the pain caused by gun violence, it's not just to the victim, but to so many others. And to do that, we must hear from the victims firsthand. Lois Schaefer is one of those people. She, a mother who, because of gun violence, has had to bury a child. Her daughter, Susie, shot and killed during a burglary 5 years ago. Today, Lois is an advocate and an author, a retelling of the night that she lost Susie to gun violence, the book titled The Unthinkable. And Lois is kind enough to join us now for a few minutes. And a very painful anniversary this week, 5 years ago since you lost your daughter, isn't it?
That's correct.
The one thing that comes across in the book is that the loss is not just in the immediate. It carries on and it impacts so many people. Not just the victim, but the family, both the parents, the children, the entire community. And you're still dealing with that loss 5 years ago, aren't you?
That's absolutely correct, yes.
Let's talk about the circumstances because, like so many tragedies, these kind of stories, unfortunately, we see every day. A robbery, 2 kids suspended from the school that your daughter's own children went to, a high school in St. Louis. And they went on a robbery spree. Your daughter came upon them in the house. One of the 2 people, 2 burglars, shot and killed her 3 times. They're both now in prison, one serving a life sentence, plus additional years. So many lives have been destroyed about this. Just talk about the impact both in the community and for your family.
Well, my goodness, we know it, we feel it, you know, every day. I mean, just little things. There are memories, you know, that are painful. The good memories, you know, of her. I mean, just an aside. Every time I'll see, you know, a good play or have a good meal, I'll think of her. I want to tell her, and she's not there. I
want to get to maybe some solutions because you talk about the senselessness and the tragedy of the claim of your daughter's life, illegally purchased guns right on the streets there in St. Louis. But you talk in the book that it's, and I think people sometimes, they look at statistics of how many lives lost, but the multiple you have to put to it. You talk personally about just the pain you feel every day with the memories that don't go away, but to the kids that don't have a mom anymore, and that's part of the story, isn't it? That it's every day that ache, that hole that doesn't go away from so many people who have to grow up without a mom, who can't pick up the phone and talk to that person anymore, and then 2 lives sitting behind bars there for the better part of their lives, if not for their whole lives, totally wasted, all because of senseless violence.
You know, I want to tell you, and I covered this in the book, is that, yes, it's not only our family, but it's the families of the perpetrators as well. The mother of the shooter. In the book, I talk about her. Her life is ruined. I'm just one person, but it's not only me.
And the one thing I took from it was for the 30,000 people every year plus who die at the end of the gun, the victims are actually multiples of that, and that comes across in the book. Now, you also make it very clear that the gun is part of this equation, and the access to so many and the ease to get illegal guns on the streets, and you specifically talk about handguns here. You're going to have robberies, but maybe you won't have the final tragedy if it wasn't so easy to get your hand on a gun, right?
You know, people have said to me, there are the mentally ill who get guns, and commit murder, but there are mentally ill who are harmless. What it is the accessibility of the gun. Yep. Is not the fact that they're mentally ill. I wanted to raise the consciousness of people to do something, to put a face on it, on gun violence. So I'd like to at least see some change. Universal background check. There's a bill also called micro-stamping bill, which was authored.
Smart guns, yep.
Authored by my Assemblywoman, Michelle Schimmel, and now the Attorney General, Eric Schneiderman. At least something changed. The NRA is organized, but we as ordinary citizens can band together to at least cut down the senseless violence.
I'm curious, Lois, after writing the book, was the process more painful than you thought, or did you think after you did it that you're glad you went through opening up, obviously, all those difficult memories?
It's painful. I'm glad I did it.
Well, again, the book is The Unthinkable. Lois Schaefer, I really appreciate a few minutes here, and we've linked to our site where you can go to check the book out as well for yourself. Lois, again, thank you. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back with more RFL right after this.